The global financial system has officially entered a state of terminal darkness as the CME Group, the world's largest derivatives exchange, has just gone offline, and you need to understand right now that what they are calling a hack is actually a desperate cover-up for a total physical silver default. You have been told to stay calm and wait for the technical glitch to be resolved. But while you sit there waiting, the foundations of your monetary security are being incinerated behind a digital smokescreen designed to keep you from the truth. The reality is that the exchange has hit stage 0 inventory levels, meaning the physical silver required to back your paper contracts has completely vanished, and they've pulled the plug on the system to prevent you from realizing that the vault is empty. I want you to look closely at the timing of this so-called outage, because it happened exactly when the physical delivery demands from global investors reached a breaking point that the banking establishment could no longer ignore. You've been watching the paper price on your phone thinking you were safe, but the CME dark event is the ultimate confirmation that the registered silver, the metal that was supposed to be there for you, is functionally gone. This is the Great Deception at its peak, and they are using the narrative of a cyber attack to buy themselves time while they settle institutional debts behind your back, leaving you with nothing but a digital screen that won't turn on. Did you ever stop to think why an exchange of this magnitude would suddenly go dark right as silver premiums in the East hit record highs? It's because the East is draining your wealth in real time, and the only way for the Western banks to stop the bleeding was to halt the entire system so you couldn't see the inventories hitting zero. You are being lulled into a false sense of security while the smart money is using this downtime to secure every last physical ounce, effectively welding the exit doors shut for the average American investor before the Monday morning reset. The $185 price target I am warning you about is the gravity well that your wealth is being pulled toward. And if you are not holding physical silver in your hand right now, you are essentially holding a ticket to a sinking ship. You must recognize that in a world of digital lies, the only thing that matters is what you can physically touch. Because when the CME goes dark, your digital promises to pay become absolutely worthless. The banking cartels are currently in a state of terminal panic, and they are hoping that you will be too distracted by the hack headlines to notice that the physical supply lines at your local dealers are being shut down as we speak. I have spent the last 12 hours dissecting the internal data that leaked just before the screens went black, and the evidence of a silent default is irrefutable. The exchange has more paper claims than physical ounces by a ratio of 500 to 1. You are part of a giant game of musical chairs, where 489 people are about to be left without a seat, and the CME hack is just the music stopping for the final time. This is a national security crisis disguised as a technical failure, and while the media tells you to be patient, the Federal Reserve is quietly printing billions to bail in the very banks that are currently suppressing the value of your labor. Everything you see on the news today regarding this outage is a carefully choreographed distraction from the fact that your purchasing power is being exported to the rising powers of the East. Silver is the Achilles heel of the central banking system because it represents a physical truth that they cannot print, and they are terrified that you will finally realize that the US dollar is in a terminal death spiral. The stage 0 inventory alert is your final exit sign, and if you don't take action before the systems are restored, you will find yourself priced out of the market forever as silver gaps up into the triple digits. I want you to ignore the official statements and focus on the data. The vaults are empty, the exchanges are failing, and the global silver supply has been effectively shut down to the general public. You are witnessing the death rattles of a dying fiat regime that has lost control of the physical world and is now trying to maintain order through psychological warfare and digital manipulation. The Great Deception is the belief that things will ever go back to normal, when, in reality, the world has already moved on to a system where physical possession is the only law that counts. Have you noticed how your local silver dealers have started pulling inventory or increasing premiums to insane levels while the spot price remains suppressed? That is the physical market telling you that the paper price is a lie, and the CME going dark is the final confirmation that the lie can no longer be sustained. You are being tricked into staying in a paper trap, while the elite are building lifeboats out of gold and silver to ensure their own survival during the coming hyperinflationary storm that will reset your digital bank balance to zero. I am monitoring the arbitrage between the West and the East for you, and the gap proves that the Western exchanges have lost their ability to dictate the price of hard assets to a world that demands reality. This drain of your national wealth is being ignored by the U.S. Treasury because it reveals the total failure of their monetary policy and the end of the dollar's dominance. When the vaults are finally and officially empty, the price discovery will move permanently to the Shanghai Gold Exchange, and you will be left holding paper in a world that only accepts metal. You must act before the ask price returns to the screens, because once the CME comes back online, The price of silver will be at a level that will shock the entire financial world. This is your final warning to stop listening to the mainstream media's hack narrative and start looking at the cold data of the physical vault exhaustion that I am showing you today. The system is breaking in front of your eyes, and the CME going dark is the final trigger that has officially sprung the trap on the banking elite and everyone who stayed in paper. I want you to ask yourself, why now? Why does the system fail just as the U.S. national debt hits a terminal velocity of 37 trillion? It's because the debt can no longer be serviced, and silver is the only honest way to clear the books, but they don't want you to own the solution. You are being led to the slaughterhouse of inflation, while the people who run the system are moving their personal wealth into deep storage, out of the reach of the very glitches they are using to lock you out. The force majeure is no longer a legal theory. It is a mathematical inevitability that will reset the global financial clock and return the world to a system where physical backing is all that matters. I am monitoring the COMEX registered stocks for you every hour, and the data shows a massive, unprecedented internal transfer of metal intended to hide the total drain from your eyes. We are looking at a default in slow motion, where the plumbing of the financial system is clogged, and the only solution for the elite is to trick you into staying in paper until it's too late. Everything in the news right now is a distraction from the fact that the monetary order is rotting from the inside out, and the CME dark event is the final signal of the endgame. Silver is the only asset that they cannot print, hack, or delete by a government decree, making it your ultimate tool for financial rebellion against a system that wants to control you. The banking establishment is terrified of you because they know that once you realize the truth about the silver shortage, there will be a global stampede that will destroy their paper monopoly. Your only defense is to remove your wealth from the digital matrix before the banking cartels lock the door on physical delivery forever. Stage 0 is real, and the exposed truth is that the world's largest banks have already been bailed in through the strategic manipulation of precious metal prices at your expense. They are hoping you will be too busy reading about hackers to notice that they are taking the last of the physical bullion for themselves. Don't let the red candles on your trading app scare you away from the only asset that will survive the coming reset. I am here to bring you the truth that the mainstream media is afraid to report, so you can stay one step ahead of the banking cartels and the elite news cycles. This is the moment we have been preparing for, and the time to secure your position is right now before the final reset hits on Monday morning and the system snaps shut on the masses. I want you to understand that the supply shut down at major U.S. dealers is the final smoke signal from a burning financial building, and the CME going dark is the fire alarm. You are being given one last chance to exit the fiat trap and enter the safety of hard assets before the ask price for silver disappears from the screens entirely. Don't wait for a confirmed signal from the people who lied to you about inflation being transitory, because by then, the price will be out of your reach. The $185 shock is just the beginning of a cycle that will see silver revalued as the primary global monetary asset once again as the fiat experiment ends in total failure. I will continue to track every ounce that leaves the vaults for you to keep you one step ahead of the corrupt banking cartels that want to see you broke and dependent. The CME dark event is the final confirmation that the silver trap has finally sprung shut, and the physical reality of scarcity is now the only story that matters for your future. Position yourself on the right side of history and do not fall for the final trap, as the establishment attempts to manage the greatest wealth transfer in human history at your expense. The stage 0 warning is the final signal, the exchanges are dark, and the reset is officially here. Be ready, be physical, and stay strong in the face of the coming chaos. I am here to bring you the data that they want to suppress. So subscribe and stay tuned as we track the final collapse of the paper system together. You have a choice today. You can believe the hack narrative and stay trapped in a failing digital system, or you can look at the physical reality and protect your family's future with real money. The CME Dark event is a gift of time for those who are awake, allowing you to secure physical bullion while the paper markets are frozen and the price discovery is on hold. Don't waste this moment, because when the lights come back on, the world will be a very different place, and the price of silver will be the new reality that no one can ignore. This is your final call to recognize the signs of a failing American system and to position yourself on the right side of the silver-backed reality before the stampede begins. The stage 0 warning is the final signal that the exit door is closing, and those who fail to act now will be swept away in the hyperinflationary flood. The bailout is over, the dealers are empty, and the time to protect your wealth is right now before the deception is revealed to the world. Stay alert, stay physical, and don't let the CME dark distraction steal your generational wealth. End of transmission.